guys, this is Christina from Brush and Bristle Studio. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. I'm going to go over how to use the 15-ounce skinny tumbler multi mockup. First, you're going to want to open this in Photoshop or in Photopea. In the first part of this tutorial, I'm going to go over how to use this in Photoshop, and then the second part, I'm going to go over how to use it in Photopea. I'm only going to go over the tiny change that is in Photopea. So if you plan on using Photopea, make sure you watch the Photoshop portion so you know how to use it. So once you have this open, you're going to want to look for the 3 red tabs, these layers right here. These are going to be your smart object layers. And it'll be the same for your mockup 2 and your mockup 3. All the smart objects are red tabbed. So we're going to hide those really fast. Once you have that selected, you're going to double click on this thumbnail and it's going to open up a new document. Now we're going to go open, file open, and open up the design that you want to mock up. And you're going to press Control A, or you're going to grab this marquee tool and drag and drop to select the whole document. And you'll see the marching ants all around your canvas to let you know that you've got it all selected. Once you do, you'll press Control C or go Edit, Copy, and then you can close this out. Now you want to press Control V or go Edit, Paste, and once it's pasted into this document, your design may or may not fit the canvas. If that's the case, you'll want to press Control T or go Edit, Free Transform, and then you'll get these little anchor points that'll allow you to resize your design. So you can just drag and drop. And as you can see, the dimensions are all linked. So if you just want to mess with like one side of it, you need to uncheck this link button right here, and then you'll be able to do just one side. Or I prefer holding Shift. And if you hold Shift while dragging and dropping, it's only going to do the one side, which makes it super nice. So I'll show you. You just quickly go up like that. Once you have it sized how you need it, you'll press this check mark up here, or you can hit enter as well. And then you're going to press Control S or go to File, Save to save this. And now if we go back to our main document, you'll see it's updated to all 3 tumblers, but it's also updated to your other mockups as well. So it makes it go really fast. So another thing that you can do with my multi mockups, I have actions available. So we're going to delete this really fast and save it. And I'm going to show you how to use the action really quick. So if you go to your file, and you'll see there's an actions folder, double click that action, and it's going to automatically install into Photoshop. To use it in Photoshop, you want to look for this play button that's over in your over with your panels. If you don't see this play button here, go to Window and then click Actions, or you can hit Alt F9 and it'll pop up. So once it's there, scroll down to the very bottom of your Actions panel, and it's usually at the very bottom when you do a new install. So I have these set up into 2 different groups for you. You've got a load and a save. So if you select load and press this play button right here, as you see, it automatically opened the smart object for you, and it's pulled up your open window. So navigate to the file you want to mock up, and it's copied and pasted it into the Smart Object document for you, and it set it to free transform. So now you can go ahead and resize it how you need. Once you're happy with it, you press the check mark up here, and it goes ahead and saves it, and it will close out of it. And as you see, it's updated on all of your mockups. Now, I have it split into these two sections, the load and save, so you have time to see the design and make changes to the mockup before you continue saving. So I'm going to go over some things that you can do to make this more your own, to tweak it for different designs, all that stuff. So first off, let's take a look at lids and straws. I have these set up with bent straws, straight metal straws, and plastic straws. And everything is set up with as like the left tumbler, the center tumbler, and the right tumbler. So if we show this, you see you've got left, center, right. If you pay attention to the left, you'll see what is about to happen. So you've got the bent metal straw right here, you've got the straight metal, and you've got the plastic. We'll turn on just the straight real fast. If you go down to shadows, you'll see straw object shadows. And then again, you see left, center, right. And then you've got bent straw shadows and straight shadows. So we'll hide that one and make this one visible. And you'll see a little bit of a shadow behind that now. And you'll use that with the plastic straw as well. So we're gonna turn that back. You've also got bottom shadows that you can mess with, and they're very light right here. So you can go, if you highlight all three of these layers, you can change them all at once. I would not mess with these blending options right here. I'd leave it on linear burn. But you can mess with the opacity and the fill to make it darker. So if we crank this up, you can see a little bit more, and you can see even more if you turn the fill up as well. You can also move the shadows, position them however you need to. Let's see. Then we've got this. This is supposed to say Tumbler highlights and shadows. You've got a glossy overcoat, highlights, and shading. And this is going to work like those other bottom shadows I just showed you. So if you click on one, again, don't mess with the blending mode, especially with these, because if you mess with the blending mode on these, it can affect the coloring of the design in those spots. So I wouldn't do that. But you can mess with the opacity and fill. So if you want to make it less intense, you take it down, more intense, take it up. And it's the same for all three of these. Then you've got a backgrounds option right here, and I give you 8 different backgrounds to start with this. So I'll show you how these look really quick. I tried to give you a nice little varied mix to go with any kind of design that you're working on. And then on this white shimmer, I have attached a color changing feature to it. So if you double click this color palette, it's going to open up your hue saturation panel. You want to make sure that this colorize box is checked. Let me make this a little darker so you can see. If it's not checked, the color won't show. But once it's checked, it does. So you can change the color by dragging and dropping on the hue. You can make it more saturated, less saturated, make it lighter or darker, just whatever you need to go with the design that you're working on. So I'm going to hide that for now, but you guys know where that is. Now, that's all for mockup 1. If you go to mockup 2, you've got the same thing with the lids and shadows, Same, the shadows here are just a little bit different. So if you go to, let's say we want to set all these to metal straws, straight metal straws, then you'll go down to the shadows, turn off bent shadow, and turn on straight shadow. And you'll see that there. Let me fix that really fast. And you've also got the same thing with your glossy overcoat, your highlights, your shading, messing with the opacity and fill there. You can also do that with the shadows here as well, messing with the opacity and fill. And like the other shadows, you can move these as well. I would not move it to the left because when the shadow comes over here, it's going to get cut off. So that's the only thing with that. Now, this has 4 different backgrounds. You've got the white shimmer, you've got marble, wood, and paper. And on all 4 of these, I have the color changing option. So you just toggle that on and you'll be able to see it. Again, double click and it'll open up that panel for you to make those changes. I'll show you really fast. Let's make this a little bit darker. And you can take that off and you see that it's changed the color of the marble. Same with wood. Now with this, you can actually change the blending mode on this. So I would recommend if you change the color mode that you, or the blending option, you'd change it to like color. And as you see, it just makes kind of a subtle change instead of normal. You've got color. But those are like some little changes that you can make to your mock-up to make it really pop. Then you've got your final mock-up, which is the flat lay, just so people can see the full design. I highly recommend putting a watermark or something on this so people don't steal your work. But just like in mock-up 2, you've got the same backgrounds and you've still got the color, the hue saturation panel to change the colors if you need to. But that's really all. You do also have, I don't think I went over this, there's this extra highlight shadows. If you turn this on, you see it's just gonna make things pop just a little bit. I added a filter for brightness, contrast, and then one for vibrance. So just like with the color changing, you can double click that icon and it's gonna open up a panel for it. So you can drag and drop these, and as you see, it's gonna affect the entire document. So even like mockup 2 will be affected by it. So make sure you don't go too crazy with it, because it can really make things look funky if you go a little crazy. But once you have these set up how you like them, now is when you're going to want to use the save part of the action. So click on save and then hit the play button, and it's going to start as mockup 1 and you just hit save. Okay. Mockup 2, save. Okay. Mockup 3, save. Okay. So if you don't really make any changes, or if you just have if you prepare your mockup beforehand and they all look the same, you just have to press that load and then press save, and you can have your mockups knocked out in seconds. It really streamlines the process. So that's everything you need to know about this in Photoshop. If you have any questions, please let me know. You can comment below. You can contact me in my Etsy shop. I'm always happy to help. Now, I'm going to go over how to use this in Photopea for those that are interested in using it in Photopea. So I guess I will talk to you guys in just a minute. Okay guys, I'm going to go over how to use the mockup in Photopea now. So Photopea is a free software that you can use in any web browser. You can use it on a PC or on a smart device, such as an iPad or a phone. As long as it has a web browser, you can use it. I highly recommend Photopea as opposed to other programs, because it has really good tools in it. It's probably the most comparable to Photoshop that I've found, and it's free, which is just amazing. So if you're using an iPad and you're looking for something like Photoshop, I would 100% recommend Photopea to you. I'll go over some things within Photopea in just a second. Now, the mockup itself is going to be used pretty much the exact same way as we did in Photoshop. So if you're watching this portion, I hope you watch the Photoshop portion of the tutorial, because I went over all the manual steps of using it, and all the features that you can play with to customize the mockup. I'm not going to do that in this portion because they're the exact same. I'm only going to go over what's different in Photopea, which isn't very much. So once you are ready, go to photopea.com, and then you're going to go open from computer and navigate to your file. Let me delete these really fast. Open that up, and as you can see, we've got all our mockups in here. You're going to look for those red tabbed layers. Remember, those are your smart object layers. And you're going to double click on the thumbnail right here, and it's going to open up your smart object document. Now, you're going to want to go to File, and instead of hitting Open, you're going to go Open and Place and navigate to the file that you're going to want to mock up. And looky there, it automatically copied, pasted, and set it to free transform. So you've got these anchor points on it to let you resize. You just drag and drop those anchor points to resize. As I said in Photoshop, if you need to just resize one side of it, you can undo that link right there, and it'll let you do that. Or you can have that checked and just hold down Shift, and it'll let you do just the one side. Once you're happy with how it's sized, hit that check mark, and you can press Control S or go to File, Save Smart Object, and it's going to update the smart object. If you go back over to the main document, you'll see it's updated on all 3 of the tumblers, on all 3 of the mockups. So as you see, it's just a little tiny change as opposed to Photoshop. Everything else is the exact same. You will not be able to use the smart actions with this. The smart actions, the actions in this. I am going to have to make actions within Photopea to be used, and I haven't gotten around to do that just yet. But make sure that you are checking back at your link every now and then, because I do update these files periodically. So you might find an update and I'll add different features and things to it. Like when I first started, I didn't have this like extra highlight shadow thing. I'll make changes to how it's wrapped. I'll add backgrounds. I'll add different things to it. And you, like I said, you might find a new action file for Photopea in there. So make sure you're checking, because you never know what you'll find. But I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope y'all enjoy the mock-up even more. If y'all have any questions, need help troubleshooting, you need anything at all, feel free to leave a comment below or contact me, my Etsy shop. But hope you'll have a great day.